Well, I'm delighted to say we're joined by Guy Platten, Chief Executive of the UK Chamber of Shipping. Guy, great to see you again. Thank you very much indeed for coming in and talking to us in the studio. As a country, we have a very great heritage, don't we, in terms of the shipping world, but there is increased competition. Why is the UK such a great place to do business?
Well, firstly, as you say, we've got a great heritage. We've got great infrastructure here. We've got a wealth of talent, a great maritime cluster. So you've got the ship owners and ship managers and law firms, accountancy firms, banks, all working closely together in that cluster, which makes us a great place to do business. However, other countries are starting to want to take that mantle from us. So we need to be very careful, and we need to ensure that we retain a great place to do our business.
The number of ships registering in the UK, though, is on the decline, isn't it? Why do you think that is?
Well, I form part of looking at the whole issue of the decline of the flag. The government commissioned a panel to have a look and to give them some recommendations as to how that can be declined. You're right, we've lost about a third of the ships under the UK flag in the past 5 years. And that's not just in real terms, it's in market share as well, because the world fleet has grown during that period, and we were actually losing. And we looked at it, the UK flag, the red ensign, is still a great brand. It's a badge of quality. People recognise that. However, ship owners increasingly want not just quality, but excellent customer service, responsive customer service. And they need that to go hand in hand with a great brand as well. So what we focused on within the advisory panel is looking at how that could be changed. So we do have all the various elements of what makes a great flag to come together. And our ambition is that the UK not only halts that decline, but starts to grow again, because we know inherently that a strong UK flag indicates a strong maritime cluster, and that's got to be a good thing for maritime businesses.
OK, let's look at the bigger picture now and the idea about potentially leaving the EU. What would that have as an impact on the industry?
It's difficult to tell at this stage until we see the detail, and the details seem to be very scant at the moment. One thing is for sure, we are a trading nation. Shipping is an international industry. Therefore, the UK would continue to trade, regardless of what happens as an outcome of the referendum. But what we really want to focus on now is how can we see how the renegotiation that the government is promising works, and how does that affect shipping. So that's really is our focus. So I think in or out of the EU, that's down the line a little bit. To us now, it's about what does a referendum going to look like in terms of the renegotiation package that's offered to the people. And
the EU as a single market, does that work?
I think that's where we have our issues with. We'd like to see the market really work. The single market in concept is brilliant, but we do believe there's some barriers still exist within the single market. There's perceptions of some cabotage still in that we want to be able to go and do our businesses in all the countries around Europe. We want custom barriers and areas like that to be looked at, so it's just as easy to ship goods by sea as it is by road or other means of transportation. So let's really focus on how the single market can be made better, can be made freer. That's, to me, a good thing. I mean, it's interesting that whereas the rest of the world has grown in terms of economies, in Europe that's stagnated somewhat. Is it because there's some problems with the single market? And I think another thing as well, which we have concerns about within an industry, is that the industry is an international one. It's regulated primarily through the International Maritime Organization. What we want is the EU to focus on making the single market work better, rather than trying to duplicate work in the IMO and potentially add cost to ship owners and businesses based here by perhaps over-regulating or gold-plating existing international regulations.
It sounds like you are a very busy man. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed for sharing your time with us today and your thoughts on the industry as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you.